Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. October was an interesting reading month. We had some small town romance, a band classic, heartbreak magic, and of course a thriller to kind of round me out as a reader. But let's walk through October, everything I read, the hits, the misses, and the books that still have me thinking a little. Let's start with August Lane by Regina Black. I gave this a strong 3.5 stars rounded up. I like how we got to see August and Luke's love story unfold between, dual timelines, but also dual POVs and perspective. The audiobook stood out to me, especially the interview portions with August's mom. It kind of gave the read this documentary style feel. The only gripe that I had with this book was the pacing. The climax flew by so fast that I think I missed it. And there were a few loose ends at the end that had me wanting more from the characters and their story. But overall, the 3.5 is still, like I said, really strong. And I enjoyed this one way better than I did The Art of Scandal. We're kind of split right now on Regina Black as the author, but I can say I'll be reading her next release. Next up, I read Mean Moms by Emma Rosenblum. This is basically if Big Little Lies and Desperate Housewives produced this private school baby, and it was told through perspectives of different mothers in New York City sending their kids to private school. Affairs, secrets, and I think even a murder here or there. It was interesting, but also kind of a mess the way that it was told. While I enjoyed it during reading, it's not memorable for me, and I also don't know that it's one that I'd recommend. Then there's Katabasis by R.F. Kuang. I have talked about this book on the channel quite a few times, so we're gonna keep this short today. The world building, great. Intrigue, the academia of it all, great. But ultimately, I gave this book 3 stars and it just fell a bit flat for me. The romance subplot didn't really work. The crypt keys were a big plot line that I feel like missed the mark. I wanted this profound experience that you usually get from Kuang's book, and I just don't think I got it. I don't know if that would have been different if I'd read Dante's Inferno recently or before, but you can see my reading process about this book on other videos. And book, I read The Color Purple during Banned Book Week, and I landed on 4 stars for this read. There's so much to unpack within this book. Let me know if you guys want a full video, because I'm just gonna be going over the main points. The trauma, the sisterhood, spirituality. I appreciated Ceely's growth and development as a character, and I appreciated when Nettie's letters became incorporated as well. Ultimately, I cannot forgive the redemption arc that Mr. has in this book. I cannot. Some people just don't deserve forgiveness, and that's okay. But it is still a powerful story about resilience, even commenting on elements of race in the US and other places. I'd still recommend this book for sure. But again, I don't want anything good coming to him. This one surprised me in the best way and probably ended up being my favorite of the month, The Heartbreak Hotel by Ellen O. Clover. This is about Louisa, who turns her landlord's home into a bed and breakfast for the brokenhearted to overcome the breakup that she just went through, but also use her counseling skills because she's working to get her license, but she's not there just yet. She's starting this B&B to not only pay rent to continue to live in the house, but to help others and use those skills. So through the book, you see different people come through that have different stories, and Louisa kind of helps them in her own way. And then there's Henry, the broody vet that again owns this home. We find out more about him, why he feels certain ways, why he's afraid to open up. Sometimes you read a book and you appreciate the female main character and the male main character, or the 2 main characters separately. But there's some times where they work so good together that you have to stop for a minute and bask in it. Henry and Louisa are perfect together, and this is probably gonna have a spot in my top 10 of the year. Next, I read Where We Find Our Heart by Natasha Bishop. This is book 2 in the Lost and Found series. Gave this one 3.5 rounded up. I usually enjoy the pregnancy trope mixed with a little second chance. That's what we got here. And I liked the cameos from the other characters in the series. But this read felt like just a snapshot of their life and their story, when I kind of wanted to see, if not on paper how they end up, I at least wanted to be able to infer how these two work as a couple, and I don't think I really got that from this read. People Watching by Hannah Bonham Young. I know so many people love her. I know I love Out on a Limb, but this one wasn't it. Moving on. I read all of the Scared Sexy Amazon original collection and also made a video on that, so you can go check that out. But the two standouts from that were Falling by Christina Lauren, Beautiful Nightmare by Katie Robert. I loved both of those. I thought they had interesting takes on this paranormal element. I've never read a book about a falling angel. And then the book by Katie Robert was about a sleep paralysis demon falling in love. What's not to like about that? Then I read Never Been Shipped by Alicia Thompson. I have mixed feelings about this author. So much to the point where I even picked this up for the first time earlier this year and DNF'd it because I wasn't having a good time. But I slowed down this read and I really appreciated Micah and John as characters. I didn't know that this was childhood friends to lovers, which is such a, I don't know why, but that's one of my favorite tropes of all time. So once I kind of got into it and allowed myself to again slow down and enjoy the characters, I ended up really loving this read. I might do a series on books that started as DNFs and then I ended up loving, because the list is consistently growing. Race to the Bottom by LaFleur Stevens Dugan. I also did a deep dive on this book and my thoughts and opinions, so you can go check that out. And later this year, I'll be speaking with the author. So more on this soon, but it is a book that I recommend, especially if you're interested in how race and politics intersect, how they're different in the US. The Intruder by Frida McFadden. She had to slide her way in to my reads in some way, shape, or form. And I've gotta say, it's been a while since a Frida twist has got me like this one did. Were parts of this predictable? Absolutely, 1000%. But that final twist, it caught me so off guard that I couldn't help but to clap it up for Frida, because good job. Out of some of her more recent releases, this is by far one of the best. I read Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is the companion novel to Bride. Werewolves are just my thing, as opposed to vampires. I didn't really enjoy Misery and Lowe's story, and it felt so just political. This one had elements of that as well, but both of the main characters are werewolves, and my girl, she had been dying to go into heat. And that was enjoyable. Ali Hazelwood is just a national treasure for the way that she writes men who yearn. Are they all the same men in different fonts? Yeah. But you know what they all do? Love their little small woman, and I respect that. I finished off the month with reading Soul Searching by Lila Sage, and quite frankly, I am tired of talking about this book because I didn't enjoy it, but I did talk about it in a more recent video. So I'm gonna encourage you, if you wanna know my thoughts on Soul Searching and even more so Interconnected Standalones, to go watch that video so that I can be released from the clutches of talking about Soul Searching. Alright guys, that wraps up my October reads. All things considered, it was a pretty good month. I enjoyed a lot of the reads. They were all pretty different, so it made for pretty good experiences across the books. Make sure that you're subscribed to the channel, that you like the video. All of my other social medias, my Instagram, TikTok, Goodreads will be linked down in the description below. I'll also link the videos that I mentioned today as well if you want to go check those out. Hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.